Hi everyone, thank you for joining our webinar for mdCockpit. First, let me introduce myself. I am Maud Morin, the product owner for the microdrone software development team. I thought the upcoming mdCockpit release was a good opportunity to launch a series of webinars as there are some major changes coming up. So let's jump right in. Today, we will focus on how the Android migration will affect the way files will be transferred within the app, since the user will no longer have access to the mdCockpit legacy folder. In today's webinar, we will review the migration of mdCockpit folder data, the new import and export feature, the mdCockpit folder backup feature, and uninstall the app while keeping your data. First, let's talk about how the mdCockpit folder will be transferred to a safer location on the tablet. After updating to mdCockpit version 2021.4, when the user opens the app, they will be prompted by the migration dialog. Let's see how it looks like if we open mdCockpit. So as soon as we open the app, here's the migration prompt. A list of files contained in mdCockpit folder located on the internal storage of the tablet will be transferred to a hidden location. Here's the list of the files that will be transferred during the migration. If we go back to mdCockpit, the user can see each type of file being transferred one after the other. It's a fast process though, and will depend on how many files are contained in those folders. Once the migration is completed, the user will have the confirmation, and also mdCockpit legacy folder will be renamed to mdCockpit-migrated. We can have a look by going on the internal storage of the tablet. The folder has been renamed, as we can see here, migrated. Now let's go through all the import and export options available in mdCockpit to manage the file within the app. This will be a little bit repetitive, so bear with me. First, let's import a custom elevation source by going to the mission dashboard, elevation settings, then select elevation source, going to the custom one, and then we added a button at the bottom of the select elevation source menu here. By clicking on it, we can select our geotiff, and let's add it to the map. Here we are. Next, to import a KML as a background layer, let's go again to Mission Dashboard, Layers, Add KML Layers, and we added a button, Import KML Layer. So we can select this button, and then we can add, let me add 2 layers here. And then by clicking on each layer again, they will appear on the map. So let's have a look at it. To import a mission from an external location, use the mission button and import mission. Select your file. And once the mission has been imported in mdCockpit folder, we are able to load the mission. So here it is. After the mission has been imported, let's say you want to modify the flight path and then export as a KML. Let's go back to the mission folder, export KML. I will save it on my Google Drive so I can open it directly in Google Earth. So you can rename if necessary and then push the button save. And if I go in my Google Drive, I have a new file, my KML is here, and then I can review the change of my mission here directly in Google Earth. So I have my flight path. To import a KML as a survey polygon or a corridor, we also go to Mission Import KML and browse to the file location. In both cases, for KMLs, the files are sorted by type, so the user can only load a file with the KML extension. We can also import a waypoint script from an external location, as you can see here. So I think we got the hang of it now. So the export of a CSV, a mission, and a waypoint are quite straightforward. It will follow the same workflow. Finally, to import a mission log, first connect to the drone. Then go to Flight Editor. On the top right corner, click on the 3 dots. Import mission log. Select the log file related to the flight number and save the file at the chosen location. In this case, it was saved in the download folder. As we can see, the file has been saved. We also implemented a backup feature in order to get a copy of mdCockpit folder at any time. If you want the entire content of the folder to be backed up and exported, go to App Setting, Backup mdCockpit folder. Then you can rename or keep it because it used the time and date, and then click Save. The output will be a zip file accessible through the internal storage. This is the list of the folder that should be included. This feature will be useful for customer support if they need to diagnose an issue with mdCockpit, the payload, or the drone. Finally, Android gives us the option to keep the mdCockpit data even if you uninstall the app. Let's uninstall mdCockpit. So here's the message. Do you want to uninstall the app? And then if you tick keep 17.48 MB of app data, then it will keep the mdCockpit folder. That leads us to the end of the webinar. Thank you very much for being part of this webinar. Please feel free to send feedbacks and questions via the chat in GoToWebinar, or you can email mason.style@microdrones.com. As soon as the updates are available, we will send you a notification email. See you next time.